Welcome to Grow With Angie. I'm Angie, and today I'm sharing something a little personal. If you have followed me on my Facebook group, Grow With Angie, then you already saw a sneak peek at this project. And I'm gonna give you a little tour of what's inside. But first I'm gonna show you a couple of pictures of how this all came to be. I went to Habitat for Humanity and I found this cabinet for only $10. And it was in pretty rough shape. I brought it inside the house and I started to wash it up, scrub it down, and it started to show its potential more than I thought it was going to. I ended up buying some metal paint and I purchased some shelf liner paper and started to line the inside of the shelves. And then I got myself these really cool wall decals. After looking at all the Amazon reviews and seeing the crazy things that people were doing with these, I just knew I had to have them, and it would add a lot of character to the cabinet. And you might be asking, oh, why do I need such a big cabinet? When I first started this hydroponic journey a year ago, I had a pH up, pH down, some MaxiGro and some Rapid Rooters. Well, it has really turned into a new adventure for sure. And I'm so glad you guys have been on this journey with me. So let me show you some of the things that I have. You could put these on the list of things that you definitely need, or maybe you just want. You don't need it all, but I need it all. So we're gonna start with all of the different net cups. There's net cups that come with your iHarvest if you are an iHarvest user. If you do deep water culture tubs, they send you net cups as well. And then if you are the crazy one that is always after these reflective covers like me, a lot of the time they come with net cups. Then of course are my reflective covers. You guys know me, I love these things. They really help with algae. And I have my Bee the Bee. So if you're pollinating anything that has a flower that will then turn to fruit, you can do this on your own with the little bee and make sure that your flowers are getting pollinated. Because I have an Aerogarden, I have all of the Aerogarden cups and they're just a different shape. So I have to have some extras just in case I want to swap some things out, as well as the growing media for the Aerogarden. These are the clay pebbles that you can also use in the deep water culture tubs, and right now I'm experimenting using them in the Aerogarden to see if it will also help with algae. But it's just another way to block the light from your growing media. These are little plugs that you can also use if you have a spot on any one of your growing towers that you are not planting. But I have to say, over time, these have not been my favorite. They do get an algae buildup on them, they get a nutritional buildup on them, they just seem messy. And with the hole being so little, there's really nowhere for your plant to go unless you break kind of these corners out, and it's just not my thing. I don't want to mess with them, but I have them, so I'll keep them. I want to give a little shout out to someone on one of the Facebook groups who actually has an Etsy store. He sent me all of these little Katchy type covers, and I have been experimenting with these. Look for a video coming soon, but these can sit right on top of a mason jar, different sizes. These can go on your Aerogarden, or there are actual plugs. I will put his link down below so you guys can check out what he is making. My next shelf is my True Leaf Market shelf. You'll be seeing a lot more of that as we continue on this growing journey. And a little peek are some of their micro green salad bowl mixes. We're going to be giving those a try very soon. This is the section of the cabinet that I don't really like to talk about, admit, or accept, and that is bug control. It is so bad when you get aphids. I am well prepared. So I have my garden dust, which is a diatomaceous earth. I like it, but it does make the room a mess. There's no way to really control it and keep it on the plants, but I will use it if I have to. Then I have my neem oil and my soap from Dr. Bronner's, which I can use these together to kill the bugs or just prevent them from coming back. Ecogarden is one that I have recommended from pretty much the beginning because I really liked how this worked. But again, if you're trying to deal with bugs and you have a whole generation of bugs that might be immune to this, then you can spray them with this. If they're immune to this and they have more babies, then this isn't gonna work anymore and you'll have to go back to this. And making sure that you're rotating between the different types of bug treatments that you are using. These are also in the bug category. These are all of my Katchy traps that go in the bottoms of my Katchys. If you have not seen those videos, please do. These work really, really well, even for fruit flies in your house. And then the little yellow stickies, these you can use to test if you have bugs. Go ahead and put them out, and if you're catching a bug or two, then you know you have a problem. So it's a good way to kind of measure if your problem is getting worse or if it's getting better. And then I have all of my testers, from my ECs to my pHs to an EC, pH, and ppm all in one. These came with my iHarvest kit, but you can also find them on Amazon, and I just keep trying different ones. Now we're gonna go down one more shelf, and this is more of my quote-unquote chemical type shelf. This is more of the chemistry set, starting with the hydrogen peroxide, the food grade. I like the 3%. This is really good to add into the water from time to time to help with the algae. It helps with the root health. It also is really good to use if you're just cleaning the outside of your unit. You can use a paper towel or a Q-tip and use this hydrogen peroxide to get any of the buildup off your units. Then there is the pH up and the pH down. I use the pH down a lot. My water is actually high in pH, so this one is not used quite as much, and I invest in really big bottles just to make sure I always have it on hand. I have pH tester kits. These can be really helpful when you're trying to calibrate your testers and your TDS, EC, ppm testers. There is my CalMag. This really has become a best friend of mine. I was not using it at the beginning, but I really did start using it even on the lettuces and the kale, and my kale is the best it has ever been. Now that I just destroyed my knees on the wood floor, I'm finally going to sit down and we're going to get into the bottom of my cabinet. And these are the different types of foods that I'm using. MaxiBloom is for when your plants bloom, when they flower and you're going to have that vegetable, that tomato, that green pepper, then you're gonna wanna start adding in the MaxiBloom. I had a bag, which, full transparency, I either put a scooper in it that was wet or something happened and it started to kind of crystallize. So I pulled out the crystallized pieces and put it into a Tupperware, and this has helped to keep it dry. And then I have two different foods that right now are a secret. And once I can tell you what this is, then I'll share it with you all. But this is just another form of a MaxiGrow or a MaxiBloom, and so far, so good. And then finally is the MaxiGrow, which, you know, we all love this. These last forever. So we are at the end of January 2022. If I can remember when it is, it's going by so fast. And I started with my iHarvest in October of last year. This is still the first bag of my MaxiGrow. So you can see how much. So there's just that much left in here. And a year, I can't believe how long this lasts. And you would ask, then why do you have so many bags? Well, first off, I didn't know it was gonna last that long, quite honestly, so I was buying it when I could. And the other reason is I actually have a local hydroponic store near my house, and these are not very expensive when I go in there. So I go in and I'm buying other things and I'm chatting up with the people that work there, and I'm just soaking in the knowledge that they have, and I think I should probably grab another bag of this. And then I end up with a lot. There you have it. For those of you who are asking about my beautiful new cabinet, I am excited to have it be a part of the Grow With Angie backdrop. And if I put any more interesting or fun things in the cabinet, I will be sure to let you all know, and we'll see you on the next episode.